But at the end of the day, it's really disheartening when you figure out, yo, the math does not add up. Like, how are you guys making all this money but still paying your artist 0.0064 cent? Hey everybody, and welcome to Black Girls Make Music. My name is Leisha Renice, and I am your host. I am a black girl who makes music, or a black woman. And so this was created because I felt like there was a need for a safe place for black women to feel heard, understood, supported, encouraged, and even create some maybe collaborative opportunities for women, black women specifically. And so today I kind of want to talk about streaming. So as I mentioned before, I recently went to the DIY Musician Conference in Austin, Texas, and this is put on by CD Baby, and they had a few sessions about playlisting, because everybody's trying to figure out how to get playlisted. Like, how do I get playlisted on Spotify? How do I get more streams on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever streaming service you use or they use or your audience uses? And it makes sense because people seem to be less likely to purchase music nowadays. I like purchasing music. I like purchasing music to support the artist. I like purchasing music because I like to own it, as opposed to just be streaming it from a service. Because if I stop paying for the service, then I'm not going to have the music anymore. But also, again, if I believe in, like, I'll listen to Spotify, but if I believe in the artist and I really want to support them, I'll buy the music, because money, and it costs money to create art. Anyway, unfortunately, not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody's like, oh, I want to support the artist, I want to pay, so, you know, they have some money in their pocket, even though people should, because these streaming services are not for the artist. Even though the artist makes up these streaming services, they pay them literally fractions of pennies per stream. So I literally thought, okay, well, if I get enough streams, then I can get enough revenue. And of course that is the case. If you're backed by a label, right, then people who promote you, if you have a big following, then maybe you can make a living off of that. I'm not sure. But for people starting out just like me, for people who are just beginning their journey, who don't have a huge audience yet, it's kind of discouraging to look at the actual cost per stream or pay per stream. So there were a few things that I looked up, but one I wanted to focus on was Spotify, since everybody's trying to figure out how to get on Spotify playlists. So Spotify pays, I think, at most 0.0064 cent per stream. 0.0064 cent. So I don't even know what that, how many of those streams you need to make 1 cent. I should know, I guess, but it's a lot. It's a lot of streams to make 1 cent. It's a lot of streams to make $1. It's a lot of streams to make $100. And so the question is, should we be putting in all this work to stream? Some people think that you should, because we need to get with the times, and that's great and that's wonderful. But at the same time, if all my efforts are to build my Spotify following and my playlisting, and then Spotify goes under tomorrow, you know, and swallowed by some other streaming service, what happens to me? What happens to the artist? It's unfortunate, in my opinion, that these streaming services pay so little, because like I said, the artists make the service. If there were no artists on Spotify, if there was no music on Spotify, there would be no Spotify, you know? And they charge people $10 a month. I'm not really sure what that adds up to overall financially for them. But to be paying their artists 0.0064 cent a stream, to me it's kind of a slap in the face. Because what does it take to really make a song? It takes time, it takes energy, it takes money to make a song. It takes, for people who don't have access to, like, my husband mixes my music for me, and I'm blessed in that way, because a lot of people have to pay to get their songs mixed and mastered. And then if you don't like it, you got to get it mixed and mastered again. Like, there's cost that goes into creating this art that people are just kind of taking for granted. And it costs, like, your emotional input. Like, it might have cost you like 5 years of heart and pain to write a song, right? And then somebody's gonna pay you 0.0064 cent to stream that song, like, but that was a labor of love. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, even from an artistic point of view, it's really disrespectful. I don't know any other word to explain it. I'm looking at my husband because, like, I'm looking for, like, visual cues, but whatever. But, like, no, this is a video between you and me. But at the end of the day, it's really disheartening when you figure out, yo, the math does not add up. Like, how are you guys making all this money but still paying your artist 0.0064 cent? And again, yes, that's just the times we live in. We just got to suck it up and keep on pushing and figure out either how to get playlisted, how to get more streams, or we should figure out how to make more money, how to make money in other ways. And I think for me, that's what I'm on. Like, sure, to get streams and stuff like that would be wonderful. Like, if people, I think that Spotify and these streaming services is a great tool for people to find you. I don't necessarily think it's a good business plan, because like I said, you don't own Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like, Spotify can go under tomorrow, and then you gotta start from scratch again. Or Apple, I don't know, maybe they would go under. But what you could do is build your own business, your own following, your own business. Like I said before, sorry. So there was a gentleman at the DIY musician conference named Saul Paul, and you can find him everywhere at Saul, S-A-U-L-P-A-U-L. He's a local artist to Austin, and he was talking about how he makes a living, how he makes like 6 figures. He doesn't even know how to log into a Spotify account. Like, that's what he was pushing. Like, he was like, Spotify, streaming services are not the way to make a living as an artist. It's not worth it. It's like, I literally just told you, 0.0064. And the people who have more artists on the services, the less money you get. Like, it's crazy. And so he was saying that we need to build our own streams of income as artists, as musicians. Streaming could be one stream of income for a musician, right? That could be one. But what else can you do? You know, can you teach music? Can you put on a festival yourself? Like, that's something that he did, I think. Like, he put on his own festival. He created his own events. He got sponsored by other people. He also has like a coaching business, like a website with like coaching on it and stuff like that. What other skills do you have that you can put to work to get yourself money? That's the question. And that's honestly the question I've been asking myself. Again, I'm sharing this stuff as I'm learning it. I don't have all the answers, but I do have things to think about because I'm in the process of thinking about it too. So I'm not coming to you as like, oh yeah, I've made it, like, buy my course. It's like, and I'm making millions of dollars, you know, and if you are, great for you. But for me, I'm just trying to figure it out myself. Like, what are some skills? What are some things that I have that I can use, even if it's just music? What can I use to make money? So recently I reached out to, I mentioned this before, the Parks and Rec department in PG County, because that's where I'm from, PG County, Maryland, to teach classes. And so they said they have a need to teach seniors. They have a need to teach seniors things, because seniors want to learn. Like, they're such a forgotten population. Like, it's like, oh, you're old, you don't matter. And that's not true. We know that's not true. And so people don't want to teach older people. I want to teach older people. I feel like there's an open space for people like me who like older people, because everybody's so focused on children, and they think that children is where it ends, right? Like, children is like, oh, we gotta get for, what about the adults who need help, you know? So anyway, off my soapbox. I reached out to them about teaching, and they said that they have a need to teach seniors. So I would love to offer my services, and they're willing to pay me for it. Now, while that's not going to give me like a bunch of new fans, maybe it will, who knows, to stream my music on Spotify, because I really doubt that they're using Spotify. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that they have records and they have albums. Like me, I like CDs, right? So I'm pretty sure the people older than me like CDs or things that they can hold and own too. So maybe that would work out. But at the end of the day, it's not about building a list of fans. It's about building income streams. Some other person mentioned staying with like older people, seniors and stuff like that, that he makes a living by performing at senior homes. Again, a forgotten population, a forgotten people, like, they literally put away by their children, or because they can't afford to take care of them, or because they don't know how to take care of them, and maybe they need special care or whatever. Maybe they have dementia. Like, there are a bunch of reasons why people are in senior homes, but these people are often forgotten about. And so what is universal between all ages? Music. If you know covers for older songs, why not go to senior homes and see if they're willing to pay you to show up every Wednesday and put on a show for them? You know, that would get money in your pocket, and it also would bring you a lot of joy, right? Like, you would feel great about making somebody feel amazing. If they're fans of you that you can touch, and while they might not buy your music, you're still able to like get some sort of meaning and some sort of purpose by performing your music. You know, if there's festivals in your area, sign up to go to those, or create your own open mic thing. Somebody else was talking about how they created a karaoke, that they would go from people's house to house, and how they have a karaoke business. and people would pay to have karaoke in their houses at parties and stuff like that. That's really cool. Like, that's thinking outside the box. And when it comes to streaming, you can still do the work that it takes to build your stream, but I really don't think that you should depend on that solely, because they're not paying you what you're worth. They're not paying you what you're worth. What you could create is an experience for other people. You can create an online concert. Somebody was talking about how they were at the session and they were like, after this, I'm going to have an online concert where people can leave me tips. That's a way to make money. And that's a way to build your audience and your following too. You can create content on YouTube. You can create a podcast. You can, like I said, put on your own concert where you invite your friends to come and like charge $5 a head or something, and everybody gets equal shares. That's a way to make money, you know, and you can have that like once a month or something. Or like, there are so many ways that you can make money with your music that's not streaming. Streaming is not the end all be all. And that's something that I've learned recently, because at first I was like, I need more people to stream my music. And it's like, but for what? For fractions of pennies a stream? Like I said, I think Spotify is a great discovery tool. Just like SoundCloud, I think is a great discovery tool. I think those are great ways for people. There are great artists that I've discovered through Spotify, you know, but if I really like their music, I will purchase their music afterwards. But as far as it being sustainable, like for a living, unless like you ain't got no bills, you ain't got no debt, you don't have no family, I just don't think that's the way to go. Initially, anyway. Maybe later on when you build a following, when you become, famous, you know, you can live your life off of streaming. Like if you're somebody like Drake, who gets millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? Then okay. But then what you really have to think about too, there's something else to think about. Streaming, if you're an independent artist and you did everything yourself, all of that stream goes to you. Like all that 0.0064 stream money goes to you, right? But if you had somebody produce your album, if you had somebody write it for you, and you're being fair to them, if you had somebody, I don't really know how they divvy it up, but if there are multiple people on your track, that's multiple people you have to share your money with. So really, you don't really be if it's just you, okay, great. But if it's other people who are helping you make your music, then you're really getting fractions of penny. You know what I'm saying? So then it's really not worth it. You know, you got to pay people what they're due. If you want to be a successful artist, be fair, you know? So you don't want to cheat them out of something. Have contracts, talk about that thing. If you have management, like they get some of that money, you know, like you really have to consider what it really takes to sustain you, what it takes to sustain your lifestyle, and what you're willing to do to sustain that lifestyle. Maybe you need to downsize and get a job teaching music. If you have a degree in, you know, music, you can teach music theory in middle school or something. You know what I'm saying? In high school, like they need stuff like that, or in college. I don't have the credentials for that, so I really can't do that, and I also can't read music. So there's that. But like people like me are willing to learn. If somebody can teach music theory to me like in a very basic way, I would be willing to pay for that if I had the money. So you don't even have to go through the school system. You can create your own class. You know? Skillshare, Udemy, even YouTube, you know? Like there are people who are trying to figure out how can, especially older people, like myself, who are like, how do I make it plain for me, make it simple, right? So yeah, so like I'm trying to say to you, streaming is not everything. I don't think that streams are worth it. How much do they pay per stream? Look at that stuff and look it up for yourself. Figure out if you're willing to put in the work it takes to get playlisted, to get all these streams, and then if you could put in that same energy into creating your own business, into creating your own streams of income. One other thing I'll say about playlisting is that they show that they have like 100 people who do playlists, right? Like 100 people. We were in a Spotify session. They were explaining it because people were trying to figure it out. They have 100 people who focus on making Spotify playlists, right? There are thousands upon thousands of artists who submit their music to get on playlists. Now, the ratio, like the odds of you getting on, like I'm talking hundreds of thousands, right? The odds of you getting onto a playlist, like honestly, unless you have like a great following, if you're on the radio, like we can pretend that like, oh, it's fair for everybody. It's not. Like let's just be real. It's not. Like maybe there's something you can do to like crack it. If you have the answers, share it. But the odds of you getting on a playlist are pretty slim. Because they're gonna need like 5 seconds. Like if there are 100 people and there are 100,000, that means I have to listen to at least 1,000 songs. You know what I'm saying? That people every month. Like I'm not even talking about just overall. I'm talking about every month. So I have to listen to that song. The first 5 seconds don't suck me in, that I'm not going to put it on the playlist. That's basically what they're saying. Like, you get like, okay, 5 seconds. Nope, next. You know, and they keep going to the next one. So you're going to be playing the odds to try to get on this playlist. Meanwhile, you could be building your own business and making your own money. So that's the point. That's basically what I want to say about streaming. I still stream music, but I also purchase music to support the artists that I really, really, really like when I have the money. And I would not want you to limit yourself to just streaming. If you're going to stream, do something else too. Like, have a plan to build your own business. Because like I said, if these things go under, like at the end of the day, they don't care about the artist. That's very clear, because that doesn't sound fair. Does that sound fair to you? Like, to purchase a song from iTunes is 99 cents. You know what I mean? But the person can stream your music over and over and over and over and over again for basically free. And so it's like, I don't really know if the math works out for me. Maybe it does for you because you have a greater following. But for me, like my little 30-something listeners a month, that's not really getting me anything. So I hope this was encouraging to you. I hope that you can actually apply something. I want to have something that you can actually take away and work on after you watch this video. And so the question is, what skills do you have, like in your arsenal, in your, like, with your knowledge, with your experience, that you can use to make money as an artist, that you can use to be a successful artist? Maybe it means redefining what success means to you. That's something that I had to do. Like, I don't want to be super duper famous, you know. I don't. I'd rather be out of debt, living a good life, being able to travel when I want, be with my husband, and when we have kids, stay home with them. Like, this is stuff that would be success to me. Be able to pay for things for other people, you know, but I don't need to be like $1 million famous. And like I said before, like how they talk about like 1,000 true fans, and all you need is for them to spend $100,000. What can you do, or $100, sorry. What can you do with what you have to make a living? Because I'm pretty sure you're more equipped than you think you are. Just like I was more equipped than I thought that I was. Because I was like, I can't make music. And then somebody was like, oh, teach classes at Parks and Rec. Oh, I never even thought about that. You don't even need credentials for that. So yeah, so I hope this was helpful. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you would like an audio version of this, be sure to subscribe to Black Girls Make Music. It's a podcast. And please feel free to leave any questions or comments, and I will get to them and answer them as best as I can. I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers, but what I do know, I will share with you. And talk to you later.